Hey everyone, Michael Michalski here with Stockwoods Academy. Thank you for joining me. Now, before we begin here, I would like to say I'm not a financial advisor. I just love stocks, and in particular, the ones we're here to talk about today. Now, how about that? Regular day action was phenomenal today. Definitely a bull market out there. And the after hours has been performing very well. Let's take a look at some of the stocks, like SOS, for example. SOS, and one of those stocks is SOS. No, SOS, I predicted back at the end of February, beginning of March, have a major short squeeze at, what was this? Probably at the end of February, beginning of March, and boy did it ever squeeze right before that after hours. And right now with Bitcoin approaching $55,000, I mean, I just think that SOS is just going to go up, along with Riot, Mata, Mogo as well. There's been some great performers, and especially the way the aftermarket is performing right now. And not only that, tomorrow is going to be the signing day of the stimulus package. It's essentially signed, sealed, and delivered, more or less. And I think it's going to be bull market ahead. As it has been, just a little correction there, but we've had some great success stories on some of the stocks. One of the things that we talked about is SOS, and I wanted to share with you. It was funny because in my community there, we were talking about SOS, and I said I think it was like around 345, 348. I said to my group, guys, it would be great if SOS can finish off at $6.66 a share for the day, right? Regular market. That way, that's the devil's number, right? It's gonna be really bad for the shorts, right? It's the devil. Look out, because this squeeze, it's coming, and it is gonna be huge. So let's take a look at that for a second. All right, so let's take a look at that for a second. So it's funny too, because I posted this on Twitter right before the bell rang, and I, CC'd or I tagged the Hindenburg and Culper, the biggest shorters of SOS, and I said to them, I said, guys, I want SOS to close at $6.66, just because it's going to be the devil for the shorties. And what happened? Look at this. $6.66 SOS closed. Wow. Like, I said it before and I'll say it again. I really honestly believe this is going to be squeezed really high. And let's take a look at how it's performing here right now. So right now in the aftermarket, I remember, right? Bitcoin has just hit $55,000 US. So, it was down. It went in the aftermarket down all the way. I think it was like $6.40, and now we're up at like $6.80. So remember, emotional intelligence. We gotta believe in what we buy. We can't have people mentally deter us from, the mission ahead, right? And that mission is by mid-April, I really strongly believe it's going to be at $30 to $50 per share for SOS. I said it in my videos before. Take a look at my previous YouTube videos. I have called it like ironclad. It's been phenomenal. Like some of the plays, so. The other one I want to go ahead and talk about that's been very surprising. Just shortly, I think it was like maybe 20 minutes ago, I started coming up there, SLGG. Now, rumor has it. No, this is just a rumor, right? I don't like to start rumors, but word around the street is SLGG is going to have some sort of partnership merger with GameStop. So, having said that, that's going to be very big, and they're very big in the community, gaming community. So, for me, that's a great stock to have. If we take a look at here on SLGG, let me see here. So it has been, the 3-month chart is looking proper. Now there was a big squeeze up there. Okay, there was some catalyst back a couple days ago actually. So take a look at the news there on newsfilter.io, and I mean, this is going to be a big one for me. You know, I think that it could potentially have the ability to be squeezed all the way up to $25. I mean, if it's gonna join the GameStop families in some shape, way, or form, then I really think that we can be in for a potential round 3. SNDL, Sundial. Okay. There's earnings coming very shortly, as everyone knows. I honestly believe that I'm long on Sundial personally. I believe there's a merger coming, and that's my opinion. And not to mention, in January there, now on Sundial Cannabis, me personally, I like Sundial, you know, and I really think it's undervalued. They got some really good patents, and people really don't know about. And on top of that, people failed to remember back in January when we had all that news there regarding the public offerings and then the convertible notes, and people were really confused what's going on. Why do they need all that money if they're debt free? Now remember, Sundial Cannabis is debt free. Okay, they bought at the end of December Zenabis Cannabis. Okay, and that deal was brilliant because of this first 7 days, Zenabis had to pay a royalty fee to Sundial that Sundial could use for their company revenue, can count it as revenue within the first 7 days. Like that is a great deal. Then what did Sundial do? They took Zenabis and they flipped it. They sold it. They literally flipped it. Okay. They did that on purpose because they know that their earnings are not going to be as strong as they should or as strong as the other competitors around them. However, remember, comparing apple to apple here. You can't compare a Sundial to an Aphria. You cannot compare a Sundial to a Canopy Growth, in my opinion. So, having said that, I think they did this just to kind of insert or inject some revenue that they know that they weren't going to have by selling the product because of A, B, and C, whatever those reasonings are going to be. And I guess we'll find that out in the quarterly report. That is my opinion about Sundial. But having said that, I still strongly believe that we could easily go with Sundial to $3 or $4 a share. Back in January when they had all those public offerings, they were bought at, I believe it was $1 or $1.10 a share. So first of all, whichever broker bought all that, they're not going to allow Sundial to fall that much for that long below $1 a share. Why? Well, because then they're going to be losing their arm and their legs. Think about it. How much they paid for their shares, plus not to mention the warrants and this and that. So it just does not make sense for Sundial to be below $1 a share for long, in my opinion. So that's the first thing. The second thing is this merger. Sundial needs to do something. Okay, they need to grow. They need to expand. So what I think is going to happen is I think they're going to try to infiltrate the U.S. market. And one of the ways that they can do that, I was thinking about this the other day, we're hearing rumors about grapefruit. We're hearing about rumors about other organizations as well. I personally think what makes sense for me, I would say MedMen. So M-M-E-N, Mary, Elephant, Nancy. And the reason why that makes sense for me is because they already have the storefront, and they have the supply already. Not to mention, that would be all of a sudden, whenever the closing of that deal is, Sundial flips a switch, and now they have revenue coming in the U.S. for U.S. business. Not to mention, then afterwards, they can figure out the supply chain aspect, because remember, they got the supply chain from Canada. So once they figure all that part out, I just think that it's a great deal for Sundial. So let's take a look at Sundial here along the way, right? So we could see, all the way up to, like I said, $3 to $4 a share. You're going to see these spikes up and down, all the way up, to all the way to $3 or $4 a cent. I think you're going to see it all the way up and down, all the way up to $3 to $4. That's what I believe. Because for any of the cannabis companies out there right now that actually have the money to spend, I would say there would be only a handful that I can actually, like Canopy Growth, Aphria. I mean, not for nothing, Sundial, remember, has $0 debt, right? Now, it would be great to scoop up the competitor for literally next to nothing, right? Because you remember, when they went IPO, they were at $13 a share. Like, and now, no, come on. So, and I do believe at $13 a share, they were very overvalued at the time. But they're simply well above value here to have no debt, right? So let's take a look at that chart here. So as we can see, I believe it's going to go up and down all the way around. My next favorite one is Zomedica TRUFORMA. Now, in my past videos, I talked about this. I mean, they had a great earnings report. The last earnings report was fantastic, okay? And that 3-month chart is looking so sweet. And, you know, I honestly believe we have great momentum here to go all the way to $3 to $4 per share prior to commercialization, which is March 31st. It's fast approaching us here, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we are at March 9th already. Now, what's going to happen after commercialization? That's the unknown. Remember, Zomedica signed that partnership with Miller, and they're going to go ahead and have an indirect sales force, essentially. I believe about 800 to 1,000 of them, potentially pushing the Zomedica TRUFORMA product. So we're going to be eagerly waiting for sequential news release from Zomedica so we can see what it's going to be in terms of revenue and how it's going to impact our shareholders. Zomedica, if they do this right, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I strongly believe what Motley Fool said in their article. Zomedica is the next big thing. I mean, it's a paradigm shift. Imagine you have a pet. Anyone who has a pet out there understands that most veterinarians do not have in-house medical or in-house lab for, you know, blood results. So if they need to go ahead and, you know, draw blood, they're going to have to go ahead and send that out to a lab. It's going to take a couple days to get your results. Well, with TRUFORMA, it eliminates all of that process, okay? That $500 to $900 that it's going to take additional from your insurance, or if you have no insurance, that's going to cost you. That's going to be all eliminated, right? And what TRUFORMA and Zomedica is saying that it can be done all within 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes to get your results. So go grab a coffee, sit down, play with your pooch, and your results are done. Ding. And, you know, all positive news from there, right? Now, Zomedica, as I mentioned in my previous YouTube videos, they're saying that the next round, or, you know, kind of the next level from this, is they're going to start potentially doing human trials with TRUFORMA. And the reason why is because now it can have the ability to detect human thyroid. That's, I mean, wow. So a 2-for-1, pets and human thyroid. Everyone that has, you know, some sort of human thyroid issues or been through that process knows how difficult that is. TRUFORMA can help out with that. So this can be very, very, very big for TRUFORMA, and I really think it's going to be. You know, I've been in this position since 8.5 cents, and, you know, I love Zom. Let's go. And how about that performance today from Gaxi, ladies and gentlemen? You know, fantastic news being released this morning. $1 million deal signed by Galaxy Next Generation. Congratulations over there to Galaxy. I mean, you know, like I said, it's my next Maverick play. I've been in there since 2 cents. I think that it has the ability to get, by this time next year, anywhere between 60 to 90 cents per share. It really does have that ability if it continues to show improvements on its balance sheet, continue to show orders coming in, and the fact that how much of that stimulus bill that they're going to receive. We thought that today was great news from GAXI. I think that we haven't seen anything yet. They still need to properly ascertain how much of what they're going to get and from who for the stimulus bill. So once they understand all of that, they're going to release news. So I think in the next day or two, they're going to release another news and another and another. And in the short term, GAXI definitely has the ability, looking at my notes here, GAXI definitely has the ability to go up to 7 to 8 cents a share in the very short term. That's my opinion. But again, I'm no financial advisor. Do your due diligence. Come over to the Stockwits Academy. We'll give you the collaboration, the knowledge, and the tools necessary to take that guess and make it into a hypothesis once you press that trade button. So, again, throughout the day here, taking a look at the chart, this is a 3-month chart, 3-month chart of GAXI has been going nice. Now, very similar to the last chart, right? To Sundials. I think GAXI is going to go up, little stagnant, up, down. Now, to be honest, a little part of this was Trade 212's fault. That's a story for another day, but we'll leave it at that. Okay, so taking a look at the day chart here for GAXI, it got some little short burst there. Little short burst there, and I think tomorrow we're going to see another big day. I would love to see some news from GAXI tomorrow. I think they're going to be releasing news in the next day or 3. Yeah, I think once the bill is signed, then they're going to release the news about what they're going to get, when they're going to get it, how they're going to use the money, where they're going to use it. Are they going to hire more people? So we're going to know all of that in the near future. So that's another one to look at. Speaking about OTC, my other next Maverick play here is MRGE, Mirage Energy. Now with Mirage Energy, like I said, most countries have that natural gas supply of 10 to 15 days. Mexico only has a 2-day natural gas supply. And, everything that happened in Texas there, it is an absolute travesty. They need Mirage Energy. They need this pipeline. It cost them $0 for this pipeline. I think MRGE is primed and proper to have a short-term run of anywhere between 60 cents to $1 per share. That's short-term. I personally believe that it could go anywhere to $2 to $3. I think it's one of the hidden gems of the oil and gas industry. That is by far. So take a look at MRGE. I talked about it in my previous YouTube videos there, and I gave a little bit more DD about that last night's video too. So take a look at that. Now taking a look at some aftermarket plays here. I mean, Exela Technologies has been running strong in that aftermarket, folks. I mean, it hit all the way up to, I think it was $7 a share, $6.99 or something like that per share. It's been going strong, and I think that we're in some really big things for this particular organization. Stockwits has been in this stock since I think it was like $1.15, $1.17 per share. Now, take a look at a couple aftermarket plays. One stock I'm really liking right now is SYN. SYN, I mean, if you take a look at this chart here, the last 3 months, I mean, we had a huge squeeze all the way up to $1.71. I mean, I remember that month. It was penny month, right? All of those stocks, penny stocks, were going really, really high. And some of them, stayed well above that $1 mark, which has been some fantastic. But this one hasn't, right? And it's been going down. And I think that it's going to be making its way up, personally. over the next little while, and especially leading up into tomorrow and into the weekend too. So taking a look at the month chart here, as you can see, has been going down. However, looking at this 10-day chart, I really think that it's in for a recovery. So it's in for a recovery. So, you know, again, I really like this play. It's SYN. Now, some of you has been asking me what's going on with GLSI. GLSI, and you know, personally, I really, really love this stock. I think that it could be squeezed up high again, really, really high. And as you can see, that squeeze started fairly low here, down to about $20 a share. So we rode it all the way up here. You know, yesterday was up about what was it, about 150%. And then today down about 20%. I think in the aftermarket it's down a little bit here. Let's take a look here. I think it's down about, where is it? What is it? Oh, I can't read. There it is. I think, oh, there we go. It's up a little bit there in the aftermarket. So, you know, I expect this stock to be in the very short term, you know, $55 to $65 a share. Now, I really believe that these stocks are fantastic companies and with some great catalysts coming up. So take a look at them. Feel free to take a look at my DD folder. If you haven't joined Stockwits Academy, come on by. We would love to have you. Now, a lot of you, please remember emotional intelligence, okay? The bull market, it's still here. We just had a little minute, you know, hiccup, right? But again, when there's ups, there's always downs, and when there's downs, there's always ups. It's a bull market. Things are slowly going to get back into the swing of things, and when it does, you know, we're gonna start to seeing a lot of pickup back in the economy. And you know, this whole talk about inflation, and you know, I don't think so, right? I think we've seen the last 2 days, as I mentioned before, as long as we can see good day Monday, good day Tuesday. In fact, it was the opposite. It was a good day Monday, great day Tuesday. And I really thought that we did very well. Having said that, you know, please remember, we're here to make money for our families. Make sure you sell in the highs, buy in the lows, double, triple, quadruple dip. Okay? Remember, buy on that dip. We're here to make money for our families. So sell high and buy low. If you liked my video, please hit like, hit subscribe at the bottom. Have a great evening, rest of that after hours. And I will see you tomorrow bright and early, tomorrow morning. Looking forward to it. Have a good evening. Ciao.